Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the TIberius Show with your host, TIberius Boy!
That's me, TIberius! Today, we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a video game about surviving on an island, a book about a Greek god named Apollo, and we have a totally awesome guest. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing TIberiuss.
Thank you very much, and I'm honored to be on your show. I've just been looking forward to this all week.
Well, you're welcome. And Phil is the mayor of Winter Park right here in Central Florida. Well, today we're going to start off with the video game of the week, and this is going to be a camp.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Well, today's video game is Island Survival. This game is not on Roblox, but it is a game platform from Epic Games, and it's called Core. But oh, guess what? Core is free! So when I get into the game, I start to play. And you wake up on an island full of zombies and raptors and sharks. Oh my! You can run around and gather fruit, cut down trees, and mine rocks. You can build better tools like axes and pickaxes to do better as well. You can even build your base and plant fruits to have your own trees, which can heal you. I get a crossbow, and I was able to defeat the zombies when they attacked me. But my dad smelted iron and made all sorts of stuff. Well, it was cool that I got him to give me his extra stuff that he outgrew, so I did not have to battle a lot of mobs to have the better resources. I gave Island Survival 7 out of 10 stars because it was a lot of fun to play with my dad, and I really liked the parkour area, where you can earn special tools from the hard-to-get-to chests that would move around the map, of course.
Cool. My son is 29 years old and he's still playing video games, but I don't think he's played this one. Maybe he'll get the hint.
The TIberiuss Show would like to thank Buggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com. And now it's time for the book of the week, The Trials of Apollo, the Hidden Oracle. This was written by Rick Redoria. Remember to the back of the book. In fact, Phil, would you like to do the honors?
I would love to. So here we have Apollo, the once glorious god of the sun, music, poetry, and more, has been cast down to the earth in punishment by Zeus. Now he's an awkward mortal teenager named Lester Papadopoulos. In order to regain his place on Mount Olympus, Lester must restore 5 oracles that have gone dark. But how is he supposed to accomplish this task without godly powers? Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Well, this is an album for 6 full points. It is rated for 4th grade and 8th month. This is a book about a god becoming mortal and finding his way back with a demigod. So, Apollo is a god that is the son of Zeus. Then he was sent down to Earth as a mortal. It was crazy and he panicked. Then he fell into a dumpster from the sky and was mugged. And then he found the demigod, Meg. So then they found Percy Jackson to go to Camp Half-Blood, which would help Apollo get back to his dad, Zeus. Then they had to fight enemies, and then they found out that the master of the monsters was Meg's stepfather. Then Cap Half-Blood was in a lot of things. Well, should I tell you everything? Well, I know I can't, but it was a good book. I want you to read this book. Well, I give The Trials of Apollo, the Hidden Oracle 7 out of 10 stars because it was really cool that it saved Camp Half-Blood. It was really interesting that they learned about Greek mythology in a modern book, which is crazy. And now it's time for an interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Mayor of Winter Park, Phil Anderson.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this. So let's tell our audience what it's like to be a mayor.
Nice. So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show, though?
You know, the show is great. It's I love the energy. I love the books. You know, I hope I'm not too old to go read about Zeus and Apollo.
Okay, so you are the mayor of Winter Park. Can you tell my listeners what a mayor really does?
You know, what the mayor really does is he leads the city and he tries to set a good example for how we're going to make the city better. And the mayor his job is to serve the residents of his city. And in our case, that means the residents of Winter Park. So my job is all about trying to make their lives better, whether it's better water, better roads, better sidewalks, better sewer systems, and better
potholes.
No potholes is exactly right, and great police and fire services. That's really what the mayor does, and we try to do it in a budget. So within the amount of money that we have to work with. So, but that's really what I do.
Wow. So I've been trying to learn about government and what it really does. My dad says that they make rules and laws. My mom says they make programs to help people. My grandpa says that they just take all your money. Well, can you tell me what government actually does?
Sure. You know, it's a little bit of all three of those. What cities and the mayor is supposed to do and the governments are supposed to do is make life better for the residents who live there. And we do it by taking some of their money in the form of taxes, and then we use that tax money to pay for programs and pay for the police and fire services and the roads. But the other thing we do is we set laws and regulations and rules so that people know how best to serve themselves and to allow businesses to come in and do a really, really good job. So that's what we do. We set the rules and the boundaries, and then we let the residents and the businesses come in and make life better for the residents.
Nice. So how does government help kids?
Oh, wow.
Because I know that I have to pay taxes.
You do. Well, governments help kids really in two ways. The first way is the governments set up school systems. And so part of your tax money, or your parents' tax money, or your grandfather's tax money goes to pay for schools so that all the kids have an opportunity for a great education. And the other way that cities help kids is we make sure you have safe water to drink. Make sure that you've got parks to play in, and that's something we focus a lot of time on, is where do we put the money to make our parks better. And here in Winter Park, we spend a lot of money to make sure our playground equipment is well done and is in great shape. And in fact, we're just about to spend $3 million on our Martin Luther King Jr. Park. We're going to take all of the old equipment out, put new ones in. We're building great new soccer fields, and it's all right next to our brand new library and our brand new event center. So this is going to be a cool place. You'll be able to walk across this bridge from the playground straight into the library, which looks like an upside down pyramid.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought you might find that cool.
So how long have you been working on politics?
Wow. You know, I was a mayor. I got elected as a mayor just in March of this year, so about 10 months. But before that, what ignited my passion to get involved in the way governments work, it goes back about 30 years. In the business that I was in, we realized that government could make, with some of the rules, that we could make our business better, and our business was serving older people. And so we thought we could serve older people better. So I've been really paying attention to it and working on it for about 35 years, since I was 25 years old. Great.
Oh, so what was the reason that you decided that this was the job that you wanted to do?
You know, you decide to run for mayor or someone else because you get a fire in your belly to make a difference. A fire in your belly. And so my fire in my belly was to really make sure that the residents of Winter Park were able to live in a town that they loved. and that was charming, that had a lot of parks, and that really would be a great place for their kids to come back to. And that's what made me decide to run and work as a mayor.
Nice. So what is the best part about working as a mayor?
Well, the best part is all the people you meet. So I'm usually a shy person. I'm an introverted person. But when I ran for politics and got involved in government, it really made me get out there and meet a lot of people. And I probably went around and knocked on 1,000 doors during the campaign, and I met hundreds and hundreds of people. And that's really the best part, is meeting the people. There's some perks. So one of the recent perks, have you ever heard of Fred Rogers?
No.
And Won't You Be My Neighbor? There's a song, he was on the TV shows for a long time. Maybe it's before you were watching TV. But he is a recent college graduate. Well, not a recent. He graduated from Rollins College many years ago and had a wonderful TV career. But they built this big sculpture of him. There is a 10-foot tall sculpture of him, and he's surrounded by kids. But because I was a mayor, I got to go when they took the curtain off the sculpture. And so I was one of the first people to see this amazing sculpture of Fred Rogers surrounded by kids. And it was a really fun thing. And the sculptor was he is English, he's from England, but he lives in France. And so he came all the way over from France to help unveil. But that's one of the perks about being a mayor, is that you get to go to those kind of things that are unique and exciting and different. But the biggest thing is meeting the people.
Oh, yeah. So to get this job, you had to win an election. Was that hard to do?
Yes. Campaigning and running for an election is really hard. It's a lot of hard work. You know, I feel like I walked through 2 soles of shoes, walking through our city, knocking on doors. We sent mailers, we sent postcards out to probably 20,000 people to introduce me and to tell them about me. We had debates. So my opponent and she and I would get in front of audiences and talk about our points of view. But it was a lot of hard work, and we had a lot of people. We probably had 200 or 300 volunteers that got out there and worked for me, and those are really special people. And finding people that like you so much that they're willing to go out and do that, that's pretty special.
Oh, that must be super special. So
you could do it.
Oh, yeah. So you kind of knew the job that you wanted to do and what to expect. What was the one thing that happened when you first started the job that you did not expect?
Well, you're right. I knew a lot to expect when I got into the job. On a serious side, the thing that happened I didn't expect is, we had more of the COVID pandemic come out. And we thought we were over it. We thought we had licked this thing, and we were all going to be running around in the park and having parties again. And we had to pop up again. But I have to tell you, our associates, our employees, they did a fantastic job. They put those masks back on. They protected everybody. And they really worked hard. And, I think they brought us through a tough time. And so we're excited about it.
So what have you learned about yourself while doing this job?
Boy, what have I learned about myself while I'm doing this job? The biggest thing that I probably learned is you really have to persuade people. You have to give people information, you have to understand what they're feeling, and you have to persuade people. As an executive, as a business person, you really have a lot of people that work with you, but you get to set the direction and you get to sort of be the boss. And here it's more like persuading people rather than bossing people. And I work with 4 fantastic commissioners who all have a very strong opinion. And bringing them together as a family is something that we really have to do.
So what's the hardest part about being a mayor of the city?
The hardest part is what I just mentioned, bringing people together as a family. As a group to to take on and take on a job and agree on how we're going to do it, and then set policy and set those rules. That's the hardest part.
Nice. So what's the greatest achievement while working as a mayor?
You know, the greatest achievement that I think I've had, and we have had, because it's 5 people working together, we really looked at the long-term future of our city. We said, what do our kids want to see? What do our kids' kids want to see? And they really want to see more parks. They want to be able to run down through these parks, and they want to know that it's a safe place. And we put together a plan to make sure that that's safe for the next 100 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what's the craziest thing that has happened while you were doing your job?
Oh, this is a good one. So Winter Park owns 2 of the biggest vacuum cleaners that you can ever find. And these 2 vacuum cleaners are they have like a big vacuum tube about that big. That's about almost 2 feet big.
Oh, wow.
And what they do is they back these are vacuum cleaners on a truck, and they back them up to the sewer systems and where we're putting in pipes, and they can hold that vacuum system, and it goes down, 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 and it pulls up rocks and dirt and tree roots, and you can go all the way down until you find the pipe that you want.
Oh, wow.
And then you can get down there and fix that pipe. Or if you've got a clogged up sewer line, like a storm sewer where the water goes into the lake, and if it's full of stuff, you can take that lid off, that manhole cover, and take this big vacuum cleaner thing down there, and it will suck up everything at the bottom. You know, dirt, rocks, basketballs, baseballs, leaves, and trash.
That's just sad.
But
Trash is just straight up sad when you see that in the water.
no, I know, and that's why we have these vacuum cleaners, is to keep that trash from getting into our lakes. So that's probably the craziest thing, is I got to watch the guys do that. But I enjoyed it. It's not every day you get to see a vacuum cleaner picking up rocks and trees.
Well, if you could think of one thing that would make your job easier, what would it be?
I'm going to get a little political on you now. This is an adult response. You know, in the state of Florida, because of the way we're governed, we can only talk to each other when we're in a public meeting. And it's really good for our residents because they get to know everything that we've talked about. But we have to wait 2 weeks between each meeting before the fellow commissioners and I can talk. So if I have an idea, I have to wait 2 weeks to really be able to talk about that idea with the people, with my team. And I'd love to find an easier way to do that, but that would make our job a lot easier, is to be able to talk in between. And sometimes we do workshops, so we don't wait between meetings. But that's probably the thing I'd like to do more of, is to really have more time to talk to the people that I serve with.
Nice. Well, what got you started in wanting to be in politics and government?
Well, what got me started was my mom taught me how to serve other people. My mom and dad were Southern Baptist missionaries, which meant we grew up in Manila, Philippines. And so they always served the people that they met. And that's something that I think I would say my mom taught me to do, is to serve other people. And when I retired from my big business, I thought this would be a great way to serve other people.
Nice.
And that's where I think, as long as you're in government and you're serving other folks, I think that's great.
Nice. Well, is there a certain project that you wanted to finish before this term is finished?
You know, we've already finished a bunch of things.
Oh, wow.
We had in March, we put together a whole list of things we wanted to do, and we've already finished one of them. And the one thing that we've already finished, is we've set up a way for people to make a much nicer street on Orange Avenue. I don't know if you go up into Winter Park, Orange Avenue is going to be a much more beautiful place in about 10 years. So that's one of the biggest things that we've done.
Nice. So, you get to meet a lot of famous reporters and politicians. Does it make you nervous when you talk with them, or are you used to it now that you're famous?
Wow. Well, I didn't think of myself as famous, but thank you very much for helping me there. I used to get very nervous, and I used to have to really think about not making a mistake. But what I found is that if you really talk from the heart about what you're passionate about, you do a good job.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
So, now your bio says that you also served as a commissioner, and I was able to interview one of the commissioners from Orange County. Did that prepare you for being a mayor?
Absolutely. Being a commissioner is a great way to start, and it lets you understand how your local government works. And it does prepare you so that when you become the leader of that commission as mayor, then you already have been there. You know what the decisions are. You know how you go through the process. So I think it was a great thing to help prepare me.
Mm-hmm. So it says in your bio that you have created multiple businesses. So what did you enjoy doing the most?
So I'm a civil engineer. I like to build things. And so in my business world, I got to build buildings, and I got to build and invest in buildings across the country. I got to travel. We made a lot of people very happy. We built a lot of retirement communities, and watching residents love what you built, love where they live, that was very good for me.
Wow. So what was the first job that you ever had?
Oh, my first job. The first job I ever had was making pizzas. And have you ever seen the pizza men and they throw the dough up and it flies up in a circle and comes back down? Oh, absolutely. Wow. So we would roll out the dough and knead it out, making it a little bigger. And when it got to be about that big, then you put your fists in it and you stretch it and you stretch it and you stretch it. And then when you get it stretched enough, watch this. Yep, that's exactly right. You throw it like that. So you open your hand as you twist it. That's it.
Nice. Well, was there anything you learned from that job that helped you be a better mayor? Stretching of the pizza.
So my fellow commissioners will appreciate that, but making pizzas, you had to work very hard and late into the evening.
And you got to have experience with customers, right?
And we got to have experience with customers, you're right.
That works out.
Yeah, so it worked out well.
Mm-hmm. So when your term is up, do you plan to run again or keep working as the mayor?
Absolutely. I've enjoyed this time of service, and I'll certainly look at running again when my first term is over. Will you be old enough to vote by then? It's only 3 years away.
I'll be 13. So I don't know.
Maybe not this term.
Yeah, maybe not this term, but maybe next term. Yeah. Well, we'll motivate or inspire you the most in following your dreams.
Wow. My mom and dad were inspirational to me. And my dad really taught us the value of hard work and to study hard and to really go where your dreams took you. And so I really look to my mom and dad as my inspiration.
Wow. What advice would you give my listeners if they wanted to grow up and work in local politics?
Start early. Watch what your government does for you. Whether it's parks or feeding the poor or building housing or being a police or fireman, watch what you would love to be and then develop a lot of skills at it and become good at it, study hard and get through school, and then volunteer along the way. And just pay attention to all the great things that your local government can do.
So if you had to do a different job from the one that you were already doing, what would it be?
Wow.
That's a good question, huh?
That's a great question. Well, I tell you, I love going camping and backpacking in mountains. So if I could find a way to make a living doing that, that would be a great thing to do.
That'd be cool. So if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be? Remember, back 10 years. Back 10 years.
10 years.
I mean, I was a baby by then. So.
Yeah, I think what I would do if I went back 10 years, I would say there are things that you love doing that get you excited. In my case, it was hiking and backpacking, and I would do more of that 10 years ago, and make time to do it. You know, just you got to put it on a calendar and say, I'm going to do what I love on these days, and then you do it, and you do more of it. But set your goals.
Okay. Now can you tell me that one story? You know, remember, this is a kid show, okay? Not inappropriate stuff. But that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Oh, gosh. You know, the one story, there's probably many stories that I probably can't tell you. But, you know, one story is when I met my wife, I knew the day that I met her that she would probably be my wife, but I couldn't tell anybody because that would be crazy. You know, you go and meet this person and say, oh my gosh, that's the person you're going to marry. But I knew it that day. And so that was probably, I don't know that that's an embarrassing story.
That is not an embarrassing story. That's just, what a coincidence. Well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
You know, I probably the best thing is I love the outdoors. You know, we live here in Winter Park, and what I love is the fact that where we live, we don't have to shovel snow. We don't have to shovel snow, and we're close to a bunch of beaches, and we can go swimming year round. And so exactly. And I love the beach. I love the water. I love the mountains also. But, you know, this is just a great place to live.
Yeah, also when I was like, it's crazy.
That's probably right, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have a Facebook for my listeners who want to follow you?
We do. We have Mayor Phil Anderson, and you can reach me on that Facebook page.
Sweet. So, what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
You know, I saw the book that you showed me, and I love science fiction. So if you were going to ask me maybe what's my favorite science fiction book? Well, actually, I have two. I have, of course, Lord of the Rings, and that's fantasy, maybe not science fiction, but the Dune trilogy. Oh, the Dune stories, those are my favorite.
I want to see the movie.
And Star Wars, but...
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Phil, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Sure.
TIberiuss.com. You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
That website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
Tiberius's favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Thank you, Phil, for helping me with Math Corners. Today, I've been doing my actual.com math exercises, and I ran into something called probability. This is a prediction of how often something can happen, like flipping a coin. So, I like the problems of marbles. They would say there are 6 marbles, and 2 are pink, and 4 are blue. And ask, if I randomly pick a marble out of the bag 3 times, how many times would it be pink? So, you know, that's a hard problem. So to do this kind of problem, you have to assume that the marbles are put back the same time you randomly draw one. So there are 6 marbles. You have 2 pink ones and 2 out of the 6 chances to pick the pink. Or 1/3 chances. Or 1/3. So if you do it 30 times, you would times it by 1 and divide it by 3. So 30 times 1 is 30 and divided by 3 makes it 10. So you should get the pink marble pulled 10 times. I really like the idea that you can predict what can be pulled. So this would be useful to predict what the public wants from the government. Smart. So Phil, do you know all about probability?
I know a little bit, but I think you explained it really, really well.
Well, thank you so much, Phil, for your help with math corners.
Thank you. You know, the problem with probability is if people vote with their emotions instead of deciding which marble. So it depends on trying to predict how they're going to vote is really tough.
Good to TIberiuss.
Exactly.
The TIberiuss Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
TIberiuss
sent you.
Now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about integrity. For me, I think integrity is doing what is right even when no one else is looking. Well, the qualities of integrity is honesty, sincerity, truthfulness, and fairness. Well, I saw integrity with the man in front of us at the dollar store. The lady at the register counted the number of items wrong, and the man would have received 4 items for free, but he corrected her and told her that she was off by 4 more items and that he paid for them. Well, he was honest, and even though he could have 4 free items, this was truthfulness, and the lady at the register said thank you very much. So Phil, did you see or use integrity at all this week?
Absolutely. You know, integrity is about doing the right thing when no one's looking. And it can get into just doing the simple things like picking things up that you didn't put there. You know, someone else put that there, and I would reach down and pick it up and clean up that part of the street. That's something that we would do.
Wow. So of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, which is your favorite?
You know, for me, and thank you for taking your leadership role in spreading this word, but for me, integrity is probably my North Star and what I really feel like is embedded in me the most.
Well, why?
Because I think doing the right thing when people aren't looking lets people trust you.
Sure.
And to be someone that can influence and someone that can lead other people, they have to trust you. Mm-hmm. And without that trust, it's very hard to lead.
Yeah.
And so integrity leads to trust, and trust can help you be a leader.
Mm-hmm. Well, we should always try and be lying strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. What a great way to look at life.
Mm-hmm. And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Bill Anderson for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking to you today, and I hope one day in the future that I get to visit your office and see politics in action.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being a part of your show, and thank you to your audience for allowing us to spread that great message.
Well, you're so welcome. And also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The TIberiuss Show. And please be sure to visit The TIberiuss Show on YouTube and subscribe. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The TIberiuss Show with the TIberiuss Boy!
The TIberiuss Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Executive producer Joseph Boy, production editor Pierre Laguerre, Green Room manager Danny Boy, and your program host TIberiuss Boy. The TIberiuss Show is copyright 2018.